Hello everybody. Last cup of tea we talked about hype, how it affects the industry, how it affects us. And Carson told me about how he's looking forward to Dirt 4, which is going to have a track/stage generator that's going to make completely new stages for you and your friends to play on. That's quite cool. Peter told me about how he's looking forward to Rising Storm 2, Vietnam. And he also said that he was just waiting for it and berated me for having no patience. It didn't really berate me, I suppose. And Esther commented, saying actually quite a lot. If you can go back and have a look and read through it, it's a very interesting little piece they wrote. But they talked about one thing, which was For Honor, right? And the hype that followed it, followed by the disaster of the advanced peer-to-peer multiplayer, and that caused abandonment, basically, of the game really close to launch. Now, it hasn't affected it drastically, but that's what I thought we'd chat about today. Abandonment in computer games. What kind of effect it has on our experience and how it can, well, how it can destroy a game, pretty much. I think if you're going to talk about abandonment of a game, the best place to start is with the biggest fish, and that has been and will be for quite some time World of Warcraft. Now, World of Warcraft back in its heyday had 12 million subscribers. I mean, that is literally basically 3 times the population of Ireland playing one game. That's a hell of a lot. And not just playing one game, paying monthly, month by month, to continue to play the game. That is a massive ask, you know? The revenue stream that they brought in at that time was exponential. But towards the end of Mists of Pandaria, the game dropped down to 7 million, which sounds like, oh wow, that's still a lot. That's a huge number. But that's 5 million less subscribers a month. That is 5 million less 12, is it 12 euro-ish? Kind of 12 to 16 euro per sub. 5 million of them gone every month. Now, there was stories about Legion bringing the subscription back up to 10.1 million. I'm not sure if Warcraft actually confirmed that. I'm not sure if they ever will, because I'm not sure if it really happened. But you can see that the huge hit that game has taken over the past, let's say 5 or so years. And if the biggest, and maybe it's not your favorite, but at least you can say that's the best made MMO is taking a hit like that, what does that mean for the actual marketplace of MMOs? Because they need people, okay? As much as you can go around and, as Jingles would say, collect 7 bear arses, you need people. You need people to raid with, you need people to do PvP with, you need people to have guilds with and socialize with. That is the essence of an MMO. That is what an MMO is meant to be. It is incredibly detrimental when you're losing people, when people are moving away from your game. And I remember, at least, it felt like at one time when I was playing Planetside, back when it was owned by Sony, that people were migrating away from the game. I had no idea where they were going, because there isn't a game like Planetside out there. There's not even close to a game like Planetside out there. You could feel it, you know. There was a dip and a lack of people. Daybreak came in then and decided to switch everything up. Now, they didn't do the one thing that would have got me back for a little while, which was to put out the city map, which they're never going to put out, but I was really looking forward to. But they did introduce a lot of new things. No, well, it made the game a lot more pay to win than it used to be, which in turn, well, it affected my enjoyment of it. I also thought that Planetside got a little bit too complex, you know, there was a little bit too much running in the background, and a little bit too less put on the emphasis of what was happening on the front line. With the base building, that was cool. That got me back for 3 hours. Literally 3 hours. I came back, I think I made a video about it. I don't know if it ever went up. It was fun. It was never going to bring me back. If they want to bring me back, they need to put in a new map. Somewhere new for me to explore. There's only so many times that I can go into Quarterage Camp and have an amazing fight. I need new places to have fights. And honestly, I haven't been back to Planetside in a long time at this point. You'll notice I'm playing a bit more War Thunder now. You know, I played War Thunder back in the day and stuff, back when it was just planes, before all the tanks came out. I will say that I am enjoying it. It's quite difficult to get a kind of grasp on the population, mostly because you can only really get a sense of it by a timer. That's the same as well with these team-based PvP games. You know, sometimes it isn't so easy to see if there's a big population out there, because they'll do whatever they can to hide it if they have a small one. Okay, tea time. Hang on. I didn't call my tea that time, you may have noticed. Here's something really stupid. I went out to the old family home there the other day, and there was a box of tea bags, right? It cost €7 for this box of tea bags. €7 fucking euro. Guess how many tea bags are inside? Go on, guess. Put a number in your head there for 1 second. No, you're wrong. It was 15. 15 tea bags for €7 fucking euro. €7? What the fuck? What was I talking about? I was talking about abandonment and games. I got onto Planetside and then went on to MOBAs. What are the reasons that abandonment happens to games? Why do people leave games? Okay. Well, there's the big ones. First of all, you've done everything and you've got bored. And that's fine, but my friend bought me Legion. It's very nice of him. I played a month of it. After he bought me this game, you know, I think I said it in the comments. I'm glad it wasn't my money, but I'm sad it was his. I couldn't get back into WoW. I couldn't sit comfortably back into WoW. And the big reason for that is, well, WoW anyway. What I think is the big reason for that is there's a lot of games trying to introduce you to the end of their game. Like, you know, hello, how are you doing? There's your level 100 character, there's the end of the game. Now, you might say to yourself, oh, sure, why do you do that? Why don't you just start as a level 1 character? And I mean, you can, but if the game's going to give you a level 100 character, you're going to be like, oh, cool, I can get really cool crap and do all of this and, you know, quest in a cooler area. And I've played MMOs before, I've played WoW before, I don't need to go through all that shit again. No, you just kind of get dumped in at the end, and you're being saturated with too many storylines, basically. You're being saturated with too much lore because you just don't fucking know anything about the place. That's not a good place to be. That has something to do with it. I think it's also the problem with a lot of like graphic novels and stuff now is that what's DC trying to do? DC is trying to rebrand its comics again. I don't know if any of you heard about this. They're going to not rebrand, but basically reintroduce all their comics again from the start for the second time in like 5 years. Something's wrong there, but they're reintroducing it, and there's characters there that, like, Dick Grayson is Nightwing. You know, I think it was, oops, oh, I don't want to punch my microphone. I think Linkara was going on about it, saying that, well, the person's going to come in and read, and the first thing they're going to ask themselves is, who the fuck is Nightwing? You know, you can't drop people in the deep end of your product. That's just, it does not work. That's why I think a lot of MMOs are having trouble now with people coming into late game. But there's another problem, and this is a problem across all games. The oversaturation of the market at this minute is gigantic. I mean, it is unbelievable. So I'm going to put some stats up there about my most played game, how many games I own, and how many games out of that I haven't played. So they'll be up there. And just to put that in perspective, I remember back when I had, like, we won't go back too far, we'll go back to PlayStation 2, that's fair enough. I found it in the attic the other day as well, actually, that was kind of fun. I still haven't seen if it worked, but I'll find out that soon. PlayStation 2, I had 30 games for it, I think. 30 games, I'd say. For the Xbox 360, to give people who are a little bit younger a little bit of a better idea, I maybe had 20. I got into a point in my life where I was working a trade, I had my own house and everything, so I wasn't playing as many console games. But now I have that many up there It's over 180, that's all I know. I'm going to be really upset if it's really over 180. So that's my first question to any of you. If you can give me those numbers, right? How many games you own versus how many hours are on your most played game. And that should give you a good idea if your library is so diluted that your most played game could be a few hundred hours, while maybe another person has only 15, 16 games. I don't know if anybody has that little games, but might have 1,000+ hours on one game. So, you know, I think that oversaturation in the market, I mean, like, if we look at MMOs right now, there are so many, and there are so many up to a certain level. There are so many pretty good MMOs. You're talking like Guild Wars. Give me a minute here. Definitely Guild Wars. Definitely, yep, definitely Guild Wars. And then there's the rest, like DC Universe, Star Trek Online, Lord of the Rings. Is Lord of the Rings still going? Is it? God, okay. But back in the day, there weren't too many MMOs. You know, back when WoW launched, what was the other big MMO? Maybe Lineage? I'm not sure if that even counts. Besides World of Warcraft, the only other real big contender was EverQuest. And everyone knows EverQuest.
Because EverQuest sucks.
The big thing with game abandonment is maybe simply the fact that we have too much choice. That we can leave a game to go play something vaguely similar, probably for a better price. And that's a great thing if it was a physical medium. I'm not entirely sure it's a great thing if it's not. So we know, right, a little calculation up there. World of Warcraft, when it hit Mists of Pandaria, the very last, it lost about 5 million subs. So it lost this much money. That's that much less money for them to develop their game and their properties. Some properties would be best left alone. My questions to you are basically, first of all, the Steam thing. I really want to know about this. I really want to see what the kind of basic information is to see if you're getting affected by the dilution of your own library. What games have you abandoned in the past few years? Mine is Planetside, really. It's kind of sad. I miss it, I'll be perfectly honest. I do miss playing it. And why do you think people are abandoning some of your favorite games or leaving your favorite games? Is it because they've gone as far as they can in the game? Because they've gotten bored of the game, which kind of ties in together with that one? Because of oversaturation in the market? Or are there other reasons people leave? Because the servers are shit, you know, going back to For Honor. So, thanks for the chat and a cup of tea. I will chat to everybody down below. And take care of yourself. Hit the like button if you enjoyed it. And I'll see you all in the next cartoon.